òṣèlú Nàìjíríà o, olórí Nàìjíríà, ibi tábà ń kó wà rè é wí fún wa lọ. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà, níbo la ń lọ? Òṣèlú Nàìjíríà, olórí Nàìjíríà, ibi tábà ń kó wà rè é wí fún wa lọ. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà, níbo la ń lọ? Òṣèlú Nàìjíríà, olórí Nàìjíríà, ibi tábà ń kó wà rè é wí fún wa lọ. Ọmọ Nàìjíríà, níbo la ń lọ? Òṣèlú Nàìjíríà, olórí Nàìjíríà, ibi tábà ń kó wà rè é wí fún wa lọ.
Mo kí gbogbo wa tún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ní ọjọ́ ìsinmi tòní tí í ṣe ọjọ́ 21 nínú oṣù kẹfà 21st June 2020. Welcome to another edition of this interesting program. Orúkọ tèmi ni Adébímpé Adéníran Adánrí. Má bínú, àmúlùmọ́lá láṣẹ o torí kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó lè gún régé. Àlejò mẹ́ta la ní, àwọn àlejò méjì wọ́n ti wà nínú ilé. Dr. Gbolabo, ẹ jẹ́ kí ọ̀dọ̀ yẹn clear díẹ̀ sí. Ẹ lè tán náà, kán lè rojú yín. Àbẹ̀rẹ̀ kan rojú yín ni. So I have in the house, what we are going to discuss this afternoon is the impact of Godfatherism on Nigerian politics. And we have a guest already in the house. We have two of the guests with us now. I have Barrister Ibrahim Lawal, a lawyer, and Akintunde Bello. Okay. So we're complete. I'm having three. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you. So Barrister Ibrahim Lawal is a lawyer and is currently the head of the law hub of Akeredolu and Olujimi in Ibadan. He's also the vice chairman Nigerian Bar Association. Thank you. You're welcome. Barrister Ibrahim Lawal.
Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará ilé o wípé èmi náà wà lórí ètò láyé ọ̀sán yìí. Àjíǹde ara ó máa jẹ́ o.
Àmín Olúwa o. Ẹ ṣeun gan ni. Let me go to Dr. Gbolabo Oni, PhD in Education and Community Development, is a humanist in defense of public interest and a social commentator. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, ẹ bá mi kí àwọn èèyàn.
Ẹ ṣé gan, inú mi dùn láti darapọ̀ mọ́ ètò yìí. Ṣé àlàáfíà ni ẹ wà o? Ẹ ṣé.
Àlàáfíà o. Akintunde Bello Sheriff, popularly known as ABS, a certified engineer and an activist, and presently he is the SA on Youth and Student Affairs to the Federal Representative Member representing the Federal Constituency. ABS, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò.
A kí yín o, a dẹ̀ kí gbogbo àwọn olùgbọ́ lórí ètò. Inú mi dùn láti darapọ̀. Mo lu àwọn fellow guest speakers méjì yòókù náà ní ọ̀gbọ̀ ẹnu. Ẹ ṣé gan.
Thank you.
Thank you. So ẹ kí n bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí ná. When we look at it, Godfatherism has become a factor in Nigerian politics, such that very few politicians can achieve success without the backing of these people, maybe because they have money, they have influence, and they have been playing a very crucial role in deciding who is elected into which office or who is given what. I'll start with Barrister Ibrahim Lawal. Those politicians who rely on godfathers, are they not mortgaging the future of their followers and the electorate?
Well, let me start by saying that question is laced with a lot of conclusion.
Okay.
Conclusion in the sense that Godfatherism in politics is not good. That is the premise upon which that question is laid. And I think that the first approach is to discuss what do we mean by Godfatherism. And is it desirable? Is it something that is alien to politics anywhere in the world?
Okay.
And what are the roles expected of godfathers? I think that would be the best way to begin, so that we don't assume, the negativity of godfatherism.
Yeah.
I think we will not be fair, to begin the question the way it has been structured. With due respect to the moderator, you are in charge of your questions, but I feel that we should first and foremost start with what is Godfatherism, what constitutes it, and from there we can now move on whether it is desirable and how does Godfatherism supposed to be used for the advancement of our people.
Okay.
You see, Godfatherism, the way we look at it, we have to look at it in the context of how our politics evolved, particularly in Nigeria. How political parties evolved and how candidates emerged in various political parties that we have. The reality about the kind of politics we play since its inception is a politics that an individual cannot go it alone. If you have an aspiration, you must have support in terms of mobilization, and also resources that is needed, to also drive your aspiration. In every local government, in every ward, in every street, you have what we call opinion leaders. You have the head of compound. You have chiefs, you have obas, and you have community leaders who also desire, good things from government. And there is this mindset that if we don't have our people there, those things might not come to our area. So the thing begin to evolve, and gradually people now do a lot of things to draw people to themselves. Some people will begin to be kind, or some persons are naturally kind and does a lot of things in their immediate environment, which culminates having a lot of supporters among their people. And as such, when politics comes, because politics is a game of number, you need to also involve those people if you want to garner support, for your aspiration. So Godfatherism evolves by that kind of a thing. Some persons, because of their involvement or because of their financial muscle, also endear people to themselves because of the economic gains that people will get from them. And as such, we also use that as a basis, to direct political affairs. In not too, distant time, you will remember a man called Chief Adedibu in Ibadan. Hello?
Yeah, Lamidi Adedibu, Baba.
Chief Lamidi Adedibu, we are aware of his nicety and the way
strong.
Very yes, the way he deals and relates with downtrodden and what have you. People will come and eat. He will solve their marital, economic, and other issues. Yeah. Therefore, when election comes, those people would ordinarily listen to him and gravitate towards him. And so, any politician that what is sought will come to somebody like that for support, because they know that it can influence a large number of people. And when people begin to consult you, then you feel important, and you now begin to arrogate to yourself the basis upon which the support should come. You see, the reality about politics is that majority who are in politics goes into politics not because of fear of God or because they love God. People go into politics for one reason or the other, for what they want to give. So when you come to somebody for support, that person will predicate that support upon an agreement.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the evolution of Godfatherism. Some people do Godfatherism because they want their place to be developed.
Yeah.
Basically for development. While some others want to be godfathers because they want to also fester their own nest. That is why I said we need to first and foremost, discuss about Godfatherism before we now know whether any candidate that subscribes to Godfathers is mortgaging interest of people.
Thank you very much, Barrister Ibrahim Lawal. Dr. Gbolabo, what is your own view about this thing? Godfatherism?
Look, let's start with the origin of Godfatherism. Godfatherism didn't start with us in Africa, neither anywhere specially. It's a natural. Hello?
It's all over the world. It depends on how it's practiced.
Yes, it depends on how it's being applied in your own domain. But what we practice here, the kind of Godfatherism we practice in Nigeria, I'm sorry to be honest, is killing. I don't want to say in some cases it is criminal. Let me tell you this. Although I won't blame Godfather, because he who takes his money is expecting return, either in cash or in kind. But in a situation where the electorate still believe that before they can vote for someone, they must be paid, it is grossly illogical. It is anti-ethical for someone to come to you that I want to develop your environment, and you are saying that the person should bribe you first. It's the craziest idea I've ever seen anywhere in the world. But the way it is being done in Nigeria is more criminal. Okay, let's take for instance now, someone wants to win Ilesha West in Nigeria. On that in that place, Ilesha West, let's assume that we have 25,000 people that will vote. Out of these 25,000, for you to have a clear winning, you must have minimum of 15,000. If you spend 3,000 naira in 15,000 places, you know what it means. And no electorate that is coming with the intention of developing an environment, we spend that much without recouping it. Now, let's now look at it this way. Hello? Anybody coming for that? The next thing is you cannot spend this money alone unless some people.
The speaker, phone on the common speaker.
Mine is not.
Okay.
If someone that wants to contest in that kind of election, can you hear me? Someone that wants to contest in that kind of election may not have the money personally. The next thing is to go to those people who can bankroll it. And he who bankroll such election must be able to, we surely want to dictate. Because if you have the money alone, you don't need to come to him. And in this case, it is becoming who can control what? Who can control those people that make it real? So as a result of that, the kind of Godfatherism we practice here is not a pleasant one. In other climes, when Godfathers want to get involved, what do? They just want the people there to favor to do the policy that will favor their trade, that will favor their businesses. Unlike here, whereby it is a kind of a zero-sum game. Once the winner wins it, he wins it all. So the way we are going, if we don't tackle this issue of Godfatherism from that is what is the cause, we may not likely get the best out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. ABS, I think that's feedback was coming from your side.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
What happened to the phone?
Akintunde Bello,
I can hear you.
As a youth, what is Godfatherism to you?
Well, I wish to say that to a very large degree, I am agreeing with the positions earlier made by the two other guests in the room. Now, to advance my own submission, what I understand by the term Godfatherism is Godfatherism to me is a concept whereby people devise alternative routes to getting to power with the sole objective of having to be, conferred with special advantages in order to get to the positions of authority. Now, I want to say that Godfatherism, as it were, is not anything criminal. As a matter of fact, if we look at the way that we run our system here in Nigeria, our system of politics, you will agree with me that Godfatherism is not strange entirely to us as a country, a giant of Africa, as they used to call us. Even pre-colonial days, before we gained the independence at all, don't forget that our founding fathers bargained on our behalf as a nation to become a nation, right? When you go into the nitty-gritty of how we are colonized and how we became a republic. So the Western world people who came ab initio to depict how we are going to run our system here, one way or the other, you can call them godfathers. So that is why I said Godfatherism concept is not an entirely strange phenomenon to us as a country. Now, we must get it clearly that Godfatherism is not anything limited to Africa soil or to Nigeria community. It is a standard that is practiced globally. But the way people practice it is what is different. Sometimes when you get to the advanced world, you will discover that the godfathers there do less of talking about selves, but they are more concerned about the public plight. That is not too so with our system here back home in Nigeria. Nevertheless, Godfatherism here in Nigeria, if you ask me, is not a cause. Now, you will see that there has been this proposal for some time now that there should be independent candidature. When people want opt in now, it has not been passed into full law. Therefore, before anybody can contest an election at all, you have to come through a political party. And when you come into a political party to realize your ambition or objective in politics, politics and Godfatherism are like Siamese twins. You cannot separate one from the other. So, insofar that people will naturally come and contest using the banner of political parties, then we must know that we cannot avoid the concept of Godfatherism. However, Godfatherism can be converted to public good largely, as much as it can spell doom for a society whereby they did not get it right. But on the average, if you put it on the average, especially in today's reality that we have in Nigeria, Godfatherism, I tell you, is making us to drive backwardly other than to move ahead. Of course, not without some exemptions of quality progress. But if you put it on the average, you will discover that the menace of Godfatherism is causing us a lot of harms than the good that it can cause us. And that is why we will have to. Meanwhile, you cannot eradicate it in Nigerian politics. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, if you are coming, no matter how good you can be, no matter the good standing or reputation you can have, without a godfather, you can hardly get to political power.
Even if you are rich.
Even if you are rich, the truth is that you cannot come. You cannot. The truth is that even with all your riches, you cannot come by the structures you will use to, attain victory in elections in one day. And that is why, with greatest and profound respect to people, that is, we have seen people who have made serious money in their endeavors, who came into politics and did not make a very quality inroad in politics. Akintunde is in Ibadan. He wanted to be president with all the money, he could not make it. So there is no way you can do well in Nigerian politics without godfather. I think without a godfather. So the emphasis will therefore be that our mindset, our orientation and reorientation as a community of people need to change. So if we are lucky to have godfathers as we had during the Second Republic, for example, and the subsequent other republic before things became an eyesore, then we will know that there is a ray of hope for us as a country. Look at it. I understand that in 1983 or so, when Uncle Cicero, as he was fondly called, Bola Ige, when he wanted to run for office as governor, left to the leader at that time, who you will call the godfather of your life, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, he will prefer an Emmanuel Alayande, who was Bola Ige's principal when Bola Ige was in the secondary school. So when Awolowo said, this is the person we are using, and because they knew that Bola Ige too is a versatile man, they cannot wish away his own contributions too. He politely declined that the leader allowed them to go and test their popularity on the field. And that is what makes the difference between what we have now and what used to be then. The leader surrendered to the wishes of the gladiators, the participants in the election, and he said they should go on field. And as God will have it, the Bola Ige, who happened to be a student to Alayande, they defeated his own principal, in a primary election to grab the party ticket, and he ran and he won his election. So fast forward to today, if an aspirant or a candidate disagree politely with the position of a godfather, they call it disloyalty. They call it disloyalty. But the truth is that much as we are talking about godfatherism having been a bedrock of progress in those days, we must also note that godfatherism concept has its merit and it has its demerit. One of the demerit is that oftentimes a godfather, not every godfather can be like an Awolowo, who allowed the wishes of the electorate
Awolowo was not even a godfather.
He was a godfather figure. What we call a godfather? A godfather is somebody.
A leader. No, sorry. A leader is different from a godfather.
Extracting from the quality submission.
They are different things.
You see, extracting from the quality submission of my Barrister Ibrahim Lawal.
Yeah.
If you are a godfather, you must have first been a leader before you can be a godfather. What does a godfather do? A godfather allows for you to have some kind of
guidance.
Yes, fundamental, and when you advance it from the above beyond the realm of guidance, somehow when you have a godfather confers on you some special advantages that you will not have on a normal day. You understand? Okay. When you come to today's reality,
okay,
the concept of having to give people waivers, if you like, the concept of consensus, these are some of the things that a godfather can do. If you are my godfather and I am a candidate and there are other I'm an aspirant and there are other aspirants, you understand, a godfather who actually have the ears of all these aspirants who are loyal to him can always persuade other people on why it has to be somebody among all the competent people.
In
one way or the other,
the person godfather wants is the person that will be the best. If someone there is loyalty, we are not talking of his competence, background.
But this is the sad reality. This is the sad reality that we have in today's politics that we play. Okay, take for an instance, in the 2015 election race, I am a fanatical follower of a political party. People know my nomenclature in politics, but that is not what we come here to do today. In 2015, for example, we saw a presidential debate where all the leading candidates were paraded. And if you ask me who actually delivered, who have got the merit on that night, who was supposed to carry the day, you know, we all know it. Barrister Ibrahim Shekarau delivered well on that night, even above the present occupier of the office today. Above the former occupier of the office, by your standard. This is the reality.
Let us allow the moderator to speak. And I think we should be allotted time.
Okay. Let me. I will summarize now. I will summarize now. If you ask,
we are not going to do the talking.
Yeah, you know, I was about submitting when Dr. Oni advanced the cause of my argument. That was what took longer time. I will submit now. So, and that is why I put it that sometimes the godfather may not necessarily consider the meritorious standing of an aspirant before he can bless the aspirant. You understand? It is a combination. It is a combination of factors that leads to the emergence of a candidate, to secure the blessing of a godfather. But conclusively, godfatherism is a concept that nobody can eradicate in the politics that we play here in Nigeria, and it has its good and it has its ugly side too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ABS. Let me go back to Barrister Ibrahim Lawal. Can we have the positive and negative of godfatherism?
Well, let me start by saying, let me start by correcting certain notions. Anywhere in the world where the concept of godfatherism is practiced, the concept of godfatherism is practiced for certain reasons. One, in advanced countries of the world, most of the people who play godfathers to enable the government to protect their interests, particularly economic interests. Most of them are business people, and they want to sponsor a government that will not go against those interests. At times, the country could also be a godfather to certain political parties. In America, there is no political party could emerge without the imprimatur of the nation of Israel. The Jews, the American Jews must have an imprimatur, and it is to protect their interests. That is why even when there are glaring injustice, you know, even in the handling of Middle East issue, you know that America will always tread softly because of the Jewish interest. Those are the kind of so the way, no matter how you see it, everybody who gets involved in politics one way or the other to direct affairs regarding the emergence of candidates have one interest or the other to protect. What makes politics in this climate more difficult is the expensive nature of our political system. No matter how rich you are, you can't go it alone in political aspiration.
No.
Even if you are rich in Nigeria, even if you are rich like Dangote, if Dangote comes into politics today and he wants to be president, he will still need assistance of others in terms of logistics, in terms of support. He cannot go it alone. Even where you have independent candidates, those independent candidates will be propped up by some persons somewhere. And that is why that some candidates, when they fail to get tickets in a particular party, they can move to another party. So it is, but the problem about it is that we have seen politics as an investment, and that such investment must be recouped. And in recouping that investment, there are a lot of booby traps that will be put in the way of the beneficiary or the aspirant, because the person who has sponsored must recoup his investment. There will be demand for certain offices that is termed as DC, and so that all those things can come to them, maybe in terms of award of contracts. And so when the other party is not ready to play ball, that is when you have issues. So as long as we play this politics the way we are playing it, the expensive nature of our campaign, the expensive nature of our political groupings will continue to have people that will bankroll it. More so when people know that the quickest way to make it big in Nigeria or in Africa is through politics. Anybody that does any honest job will take time to get to where a politician who just served in 4 years will have gotten to. That is the sad reality. And that is why everybody who wants to go into politics win at all costs. So the concept of Godfatherism, as it is played in this part of the world, has brought about a lot of negatives in terms of development of our people. Because there is no way an investment will be done, and an investment is going to be recouped without unnecessarily inflating the cost of whatever service the government is providing. So those factors had affected even the growth of our political culture, and has also denied us the opportunity of having the best hands to govern our people. It has, because of this problem, and because some people could not bear the fact that somebody will have to dictate to them. It is so bad to the extent that in some places, list of commissioners, list of special advisors will have been given to the person that is said to have emerged as governor or president. So even some people
even before the election, sometimes I said even before the election.
Those are the part of the agreement. We have had here how a governorship aspirant was taken to a shrine to go and to go and swear. You understand? We know of a politician in Ogun State that when you go to him for support, you have to go inside the coffin and sleep inside the coffin before the money is given to you, so that you don't renege on whatever promise you must have entered into. So these are issues that will continue to haunt our development, even our political growth as a people. So unless and until we begin to simplify our electoral process, imagine if for you to even have an aspiration, there is a form of intent to contest. Maybe that one cost about 22 million or 50 million, and you will still take form. And a honest person who has worked all his life, will he go and pay that kind of a money?
No way.
To collect form. You want to serve people and you are paying that much.
That much, yeah.
And after paying it, you have to also grease the palms of the expos, whether the national, the local, or even everything. So those are the things, and people will continue to come and eat in your place. You have to also do a lot of things. So it's an investment. It's a big investment, and until we have a change of mind, even our people now realize the fact that those you want to elect are going there to serve you, that you don't require even money before election. That is when we can begin to talk about eradication of Godfatherism. But as long as we see politics as an investment, even the masses see it as an investment. When you go and campaign, I had an experience when we were with Chief Ganifawa and me. We will speak all the glamour and everything. At the end of the day, they will ask us, what did you do for us? Those are the masses. So until our people have a change of orientation to realize that politics is about service and not an investment and not an avenue to make it big in life, we will continue to have investors, which we term as godfathers, and our politics will remain the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Gbolabo, are you there? Okay, maybe I'll go to ABS. ABS, do you have an earpiece?
Okay, they will get it for me.
Okay, well, I think the discussion is coming from the side.
Okay, in the meantime, we can make do with this. I will get it in a short while.
Okay. So, from your own view, what are the positive effects and the negative effects?
Well, you see, I made mention of something the other time as to the reorientation and our value improvement.
And you make it brief, okay?
As a country, it is about our moral decadence and our orientational dislodgement, sincerely. Because if you talk about a godfather in his full and right consciousness, whom you met or ran to before you stand election, and he assisted you to achieve your aim, you have won your election now. Sincerely speaking, I see no reason why there should be a quarrel. By the system of governance that we operate, is only a selfish character that will go out of the way with his godfather, provided if the godfather get me my earpiece. Provided if the godfather is not suggesting to be anti-people. Now, what do I mean? Look at what is happening in Borno State. I have not been to Borno, but the world is a digitalized center where you have access to anything as you may desire. What we are made to understand that is happening in Borno is a wonderful thing. Where the former governor, Shetima, who is now in the Senate, allows the new man, the performing governor of Borno State, to have all the necessary independence to act as a governor. I think the problem that we have is a situation whereby people who were in the office yesterday have not come to terms to the point that they are no longer there. And so somebody who is there today must have the freedom to a very, very large extent in line with the constitutional mandate that he has, to operate. Now, if one is not greedy or selfish, like I said, the way and manner that our politics is structured here, you will agree with me that the of the Godfather may not actually be too much. Hello?
Hello, yeah.
Yeah. So may not actually be too much. For example, a governor that will govern a state, we have minimum, say, 10 ministry in the state that will make up the state cabinet. Now, if you are a governor, you have been governor, and you cannot bring your own immediate family to come and man the respective positions. So it is natural that you allow other people, because politics is like a thrift union whereby people contribute, trade by barter of a thing. You understand? So if people have assisted you to get to office, there is nothing too special in you allowing them to have that sense of belonging, so that the thing can go round, but with a caveat that it is not about stomach infrastructure. Service to the people must be emphasized here. So if people are not, if office holders are not wicked, there is no point disagreeing with your godfather, whom God have used for you to get to the position in the first place. Now, I think that our orientational dislodgement is the problem. It is not about the party now, whether CNC, whether DPT. I think it is about our value.
ABS.
Yes.
What if the Godfather is demanding too
I'm with
much?
you.
What if the Godfather is demanding too much, which can have negative impact on maybe the social development of the people, have a negative impact on the electorate? So what do we do when the Godfather is demanding too much?
Well, that would be very too unfortunate. But I understand that not every Godfather is like that. In my own clan where I come here, I have the opportunity to know a certain family that God is using for the people to get to power politically. And when they get to this power, they are not enslaving the people that they assisted. In fact, they are not getting or making any request for a return. All they are after is that, are you really doing what you are supposed to do by way of reducing the burden on us? Because you discovered, and that is why you cannot blame the Godfathers in the first place. Now, especially if you are an opposition party, for 4 years your party is out of power. It is this Godfather that is managing the people, assisting the poor, reaching out to the needy, and all of those. Now, if you get to power, it only behoves that such a person or a platform that assisted you to get to power. In fact, it is a lesser burden on them now, because what they are doing before, now that you are in power or in position of authority, you are having to do it directly to the people. So lesser people come to them for help.
Hello, yes. Can we just
hello, I can hear you.
Can we just focus on what we're discussing now?
Yeah. You said what if the Godfather is demanding for too much?
Yeah. So
that was the question. You said
yeah, I'm talking
now,
generally.
if the Godfather
I'm not referring to anybody.
And I'm just trying to make an illustration better. I get your point. So if the Godfather is demanding for too much, that is where the competence of the person holding the office will now be brought to bear. The moment you are elected to occupy an office and you start doing what the people really want from you, you are giving.
Hello.
ABS,
what is
happening? We can't hear him again.
Okay, maybe I should go to Dr. Gbolabo. Titi ABS, I feel padawa. Dr. Gbolabo, recently on his Twitter page, the former governor of Gombe State, Ibrahim Lawal,
them roads, you are building hospitals, you are equipping schools, you are giving.
ABS, you went off. Okay.
Oh, before too long, by the time my mic has been muted.
Okay.
Yeah, before too long, by the time you are implementing the blueprint of the party that you are flying their flag, the party that presented you for election. By the time you are executing their programs and agenda, it will not be too long before the public will trust you, and the Godfather will naturally get gentle, because he will understand that if he misbehaves too much, nobody will be there to listen to him. So I think it is a balancing by the people who are occupying the office. If by the time you get to office, you are doing the necessary things as required of you as a public servant, the people will trust you, and you can always maintain your relationship with the Godfather. And if something must go wrong, the Godfather will know that you have the people behind you. We have seen it happen severally, where people will, disagree with their Godfather, and the people will still return them to office if they have done well.
Thank you very much. Let me get to Barrister Ibrahim Lawal before Dr. Gbolabo enters the studio again. Is it true that Godfatherism is responsible for... Let's not talk about maybe the politicians providing infrastructure. Yorùbá ní tí ìrọ̀rùn igi ni ìrọ̀rùn ẹyẹ. Tí inú ilé bá dáa, ẹni tó wà nínú ilé yẹn tó bá lọ síta ṣe nǹkan dáadáa. If political parties are not getting things right, it will be difficult for them to provide anything for the masses. Sure, you get me? So is it true that Godfatherism is responsible for distorting the effective functioning of political parties? Barrister Ibrahim Lawal.
Well, the way our politics is formed in this climate, particularly the way we practice politics, almost everybody who join politics these days join politics for one reason and for economic gains. Don't let us pretend about it.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of people who had failed in their endeavor will resort to politics. There are some where even when you ask them, so they see it. You understand? So they see it as a means of livelihood. And even when a governor is performing wonder, they will tell you, say, because it is these people who are politicians that will go out and also that will also condemn such person. So most of the time, because of the orientation we have as politicians, I will believe that when our party is in power, we must do things with impunity. We must have our way in all things. We must be fed by those in power. In fact, you will pity those who are local government chairmen across the country. Majority of them, a lot of their political party members will resume in their house and close with them in their house in the evening. They are going to eat morning, lunch, and dinner in their house. I know that my brother was once a local government chairman, and I know what they passed through. And so those monies, and even when they now want to do any developmental project, party members believe they must be given those ones, whether they have expertise in it or not. And when they don't do it, who is going to harass them? Because they know they are the ones that will come back and still do the campaign. So the way our politics is wired in this part of the world, Look at Baba Akintunde when he was governor. He was not behaving true to type as a politician would do ordinarily, and he ran into trouble. Not because Baba Akintunde did not perform, but because he was too blunt. He was too sincere about development, and he had his reasons. Even most of the things he took, he did those secretariats with direct labor. Imagine if those secretariats in Osun is awarded as a contract. You can see how much would have gone into it. Despite that fact, Baba Akintunde lost election because politicians do not like somebody who will not put food in their table, either legitimately or illegitimately. So the way our politics is wired is such that those who call themselves members of political parties call themselves so because of economic gains. Forget about development. Even when they say development, what is a road, what is on. If you don't structure their own chop, they will also condemn the road you have done. And that is the truth of the matter. So most of the time, we are our problem because members of political parties we are talking about are also members of the society. They are reflection of ourselves as a people. That's what I tell people when you talk about government is not doing well. It's a reflection of who we are. Even at our own little enclave, some people are chairman and secretary of landlords association. They cannot even render accounts of monies contributed in those associations. And you expect such individual to go into power or come into power and do exceedingly well. It is not going to happen. It's garbage in, garbage out. So the way we constitute our political parties, our mindset about politics, the way we see power and the usage of power is not the way we could move as a people. The era of developmental politics had gone with the hours of this world. What we practice now is more or less stomach infrastructure. And when people do that, you will even see our people, even youths, who are supposed to also condemn that kind of will be even hailing and dramatis personae that is doing all those things. So the truth of the matter is that we are all guilty in this respect. We are guilty either by association or collectively because of our attitude. There are some people who would think they are too decent enough to even go into politics and change the status quo. That those kind of persons too are guilty of standing by and watching that things goes wrong. Those who are in the polity and think that politics is about making life better for themselves and members of their family alone are also guilty. And voters who demand money all the time when you want to have elections, or even after the person is in power, and you now begin to say ìyàwó yín ti lóyún o, ìyàwó yín ti bímọ o, afẹ́túnpàánù lè wá sí o, are also guilty by association. That's what happened in politics majorly. You just blame those candidates and you say they are stealing money. What they use, what they spend in servicing members of their parties and other persons are so enormous that a honest politician cannot survive in that kind of a situation. I'm telling you, that is the reality. And until we begin to address those things, we will just continue. And unfortunately, even when you do those things and you service them, they will still turn around and still condemn you as a useless person. You know, so there is insincerity on the part of our people who constitute political parties, insincerity on the part of voters who hide under the banners of poverty to sell their conscience. Somebody was telling me, said, the reason why people sell their vote was because of poverty. People have been pauperized. And I gave an example. I said in South Africa, they were oppressed, they were pauperized, yet they have their sense intact and they fought apartheid. So it cannot be an excuse. In fact, it should be a factor for us to unite and fight those that are oppressing us. Then the reverse is the case here. And we will tell you, Lagbaja o le win, kò lè wọlé, ẹni bàbá ni activist lélẹ́yìí. It's not spoken. You know, so kò kí náwó ó láhùn, wọn kówó jáde, all those things. So there is no way we will not be going around the circles unless we resolve as a people to change our mindset, to change our orientation, and to see politics as a service and not an avenue to make ourselves comfortable economically.
Yeah, thank you very much, Barrister Ibrahim Lawal. Dr. Gbolabo, recently on his Twitter page, the former governor of Gombe State, Ibrahim Dankwambo, warned that Godfatherism will rob Nigerians of those meant to serve. I mean, those that are good. He added that this also hinders national development. It's like robbing Peter, that is the masses, to pay Paul, the Godfathers. How far is that true?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me too?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello?
Dr. Gbolabo?
Yes, I'm online. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said recently on his Twitter page, the former governor of Gombe State, Ibrahim Dankwambo, warned that Godfatherism will rob Nigerians of those meant to serve, those who are eager to serve the people. He also said it also hinders national development. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. What do you say to this?
There is nothing new I want to say that had not been said by the other guest speakers. But let me just let me just draw a kind of let me just draw inferences from what they have said. There are some truths that has been established now. One, people are poor mentally and they are poor physically, therefore they are no longer in charge of their reasoning. One. Two, because they deliberately conspire against themselves to be deceived and to be ripped off, therefore those who have money are ripping them off because they have already laid the foundation and premise for it. Now, that is the second one. The third one is, it makes me to remember this economic philosopher, Wilfredo Pareto. He said 80% of the population will always labor for 20% to live fine. It is the 20, Wilfredo Pareto is a well-established theory. And what this one translates to is this, in simple form: the number of people we call politicians and godfather, they are less than 1% of the entire country. Let's say we are 200 million, they are less than 10 million. The people we assume that are oppressing us, because we conspire against ourselves to give them the leeway to deal with us, then they shall continue to be. Pareto didn't stop at that level. He extended his theory further to explain that even when the poor people are not organized, the rich people that are about to steal from them are well organized. They know themselves. If Dangote wants to call the rich people in Nigeria today, he doesn't need to print IV. By calling one person, they know themselves and they can easily stay together. But the poor themselves, even in organizing themselves against their oppressors, is another tragedy that happened to them. So the conspiracy of the poor against the poor to nullify the intelligence of the poor shall always substantiate and give credence to the probability of the politicians to cheat the masses. So there is nothing out like, if I want to do linguistic analysis of the two speakers, there is one word they use simultaneously, that the sad reality. What is the sad reality now? the truth that is killing us that we cannot run away from. That is, we know that these things has a negative impact on us, but that is what has come to reign. Anything can happen later, but the probability of anything good happening later is far remote. Let me give you an instance. I know there was a time in a place I noticed that I know that government cannot do everything for the people, but people themselves should not even eat their roads. They should not eat their road. They should not drink their destiny. Okay, I took it upon myself to build toilet and bedroom for some people. On getting there, do you know that some people were still I raised fund on Facebook. People here and even people that are not even from Osun State, they contributed money. Some people were even harassing me that how much did you make from this project? I said this is a community development. See, for the sake of humanity, and they are still querying me, okay, come and buy us beer. You can't take. I now rendered the account. I published the number of people that contributed money, and at the same time established how much I spent, and I said that anybody who felt aggrieved or cheated should come up. It some people left me alone. If I want to help you and you are demanding bribe from me, I'm sorry to be honest. The problem cannot be solved in present time. Currently, this thing we are discussing, I took it upon myself to write a paper on how we can apply this theory, the theory of conscientization by Paulo Freire. Paulo Freire divided the conscience of the poor into three. Because if we don't know the conscience of the poor, we cannot define the political problem of Godfatherism. He said he divided the conscience of the poor illiterates into three: naive consciousness, magical consciousness, and real conscientization. The man said that up till now, majority of us in Africa, we are operating at the level of naive consciousness. And what is naive consciousness? It is a situation whereby you know the problem, you see the problem, but you refuse to take action to solve the problem. Let me tell you, all these people we call Godfather, someone in Ilesha will be complaining about Tinubu in Lagos. Tinubu does not even know any village in Ilesha, yet he has influence there. Why can't people within their community, instead of blaming the man that sits in his house of their problem here, the same people that are blaming Tinubu in Lagos, they are the same people that are saying that if you want to tie their road, you must pay them. So these people they are caged consciously, but they don't even know that they are the greatest enemy against themselves, because every day they conspire against themselves. So there is nothing new. In so much we can establish that these people refuse to learn because they will not learn. My people are poor because they are poor, not poor as per cash. They are poor because they lack the intelligence to even recognize that they are poor. And when you are not conscious of your problem, you live in perpetual darkness. And nobody, it's just like you lock a gate, you swallow the key, and you are now begging people outside to come and release you. You are already in jail, not by that key, but by your conscience. So most of these poor people we are fighting for, most of these poor people we are complaining of Godfatherism. Notice it, the people that are fighting for them are the people that are liberated, are the people that are not even having, that they are the people that can feed their family comfortably. But the people that are poor, they are the ones that cannot even organize themselves to know that there is tragedy against them. So till tomorrow, if anybody still comes up to say, I want to give you this so that you can vote for this, they don't want to know your background. They don't want to know your sources elsewhere. Even with it, like Barrister said, that Ganifa will say everything. The next thing they will say is, so what are we going to benefit from it? It is the greatest tragedy we can ever analyze, honestly. And it is continued to be until we have a way of telling these people that they are in jail, not physical jail, but jail in their conscience. It is then they can know that the 3,000 naira they collected at the point of voting, it has already mortgaged their destiny for the next 4 years. So look at now. During I was so shocked when when people were saying that honorables state, they didn't give them palliative. Palliative, did they budget for it? Palliative from where? Why should the House of Assembly members be the custodian of the money that we feed the people? Should it be? This is supposed to be a kind of social welfare. This is supposed to be the kind of money that's supposed to be in a cover that we can call for when there is problem. But you expected your House of Assembly member, your senator, your rep to have this money at home. For what? Are they the treasurer of the society? But because we have already institutionalized insanity, I will call it insanity, a kind of stupidity that is engendered, that has been institutionalized. Therefore, everything must just happen the way they desire it, solve their problem instantly. And it is cultural of black man. Give 100 tubers of yam to a Igbo man. He will go and plant it in the next 1 year. He will be selling yams. Give another 100 to a black man. He will marry another wife, buy mortar to pound yam, and begin to fester within that period of time that, oh, I have 100 yams. He will never think of what will happen in the next 1 year. The same Igbo man will still enslave him with his 100 years. So that is why we are where we are today. And the probability of liberation, I'm sorry to say, if my two co-presenter guests can say that it is a sad reality.
Sad reality.
I submit my case. I submit.
Thank you very much. On a parting shot, Barrister Ibrahim Lawal, what can we do? We know Godfatherism cannot be erased, cannot be eradicated unless we are fooling ourselves. It's even all over the world. But the way it's being practiced,
the model we practice is bad.
In Nigeria or in Africa, it's bad. But in other continents or other places, it's a little bit flexible. Barrister, so your advice to people, to the godfathers, to politicians?
My advice to our people. Yes, I have repeated it. Often when I was talking, but I will say that the advice I will give to the godfathers, first and foremost, is that while we recognize the fact that when you make an investment, you recoup it, but let us even do it with the fear of God. Let us know that people also deserve to be taken into consideration when you are, making your deals and promises. The godfathers should not be too greedy as to want to amass everything at the detriment of the suffering masses. Because he should know that if there is a problem in the society, even the wealth he is trying to amass will be a waste to him. The COVID-19 situation has taught a lot of people, a lot of us serious lessons.
Yeah.
With the number of clothes we have, there is no party to go to. We cannot wear it.
You
cannot even drive your vehicles. So we now know that what is useful now is your pajamas that you take, in your sitting rooms and in your rooms. So it shows to us that what we need to live in this life is so little, and so we want to appeal to them to reduce their greed. For us as a people, we also want to appeal to our people, to also see politics as a service. Let us de-escalate or de-emphasize the issue of money in our body politic, particularly to us as voters. We must now begin to play developmental politics. Let us even listen to their programs and manifestos. If you ask an average Nigerian, what is the manifesto of PDP or APC or a particular candidate? Nobody knows any manifesto. In fact, there is no difference.
What is manifesto?
Because, in fact, look at it. The last election, the last election, Yamu was in Party A. The other one is in Party B. Now they have swapped. You understand? So it shows to you that there is no difference in the kind of people we have. So we must begin to de-emphasize the issue of money and play developmental politics. If you want to play developmental politics, you will be interested in programs, and not only programs, the workability of the programs they say they want to do. The communities, particularly the gown. I'm talking about the university, particularly universities, should come out, the dons should also come out to analyze those programs those people are talking about. They must tear it into pieces so that people can understand the futility in some programs that people are, promoting. We must work together as a people to expose the hypocrisy of our politicians. If you don't do that, we will continue like this and they continue to push us. Unfortunately, most of those who are dramatis personae, if you look at them properly, they are not properly educated. Most of them. You can count a few number of them that are well schooled and properly educated, even in terms of morals. But because we have lost it by not, interrogating them, very seriously, in a profound manner. That is why they continue to hold this way. If we make up our mind, to have serious engagement with those who want to put themselves out as leaders, our country will be better in terms of the quality of leadership that will emerge. That is my own advice.
Thank you very much, Barrister Ibrahim Lawal. Dr. Gbolabo, your advice for the people, for the Godfathers. And you know what, Barrister Ibrahim Lawal mentioned the Edo saga now. Truly, if these people love their people, how can you be jumping from one party to the other because of some differences and all that?
It's not even jumping now, it's swapping. They are swapping themselves. They are swapping themselves. It's not even jumping.
Swapping.
Pasiparo now. Swapping. It's not even jumping now, swapping.
So, I remember during the campaigns, some people will say, Oshelu niya, they will tell you it is Oshelu. Maybe the PDP, what is sọ̀rọ̀ Obaseki, náà ti sọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn rí oríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀. Now they are swapping, like Barrister Ibrahim Lawal said. Are we not still going back to the same thing, that Godfatherism is responsible for this whole saga?
Yes, it is. I said something earlier that the rich, they are well organized. It is the poor that don't even know themselves.
Oh God.
And as a result of that, take for instance, if a KSA wants to praise a rich man, he will mention his name and establish that Omolagbaja. If he wants to refer to the poor, how many poor people is he going to mention? All he needs to say is issue the Wiwan Agbado, the Wiwan, that is their own constituency, and they will go and share that. Look at the political system in Nigeria. The political system in Nigeria now is like a Premier League. When you sign a player and the player is not playing according to what you want him to play, you now throw him back. You can send him to another club. So APC in Edo State signed Obaseki 4 years ago, and he has played midfield now, and they discovered that he has sustained injury, so they have to throw him into the market, and he's now being signed by PDP Football Club now. So let's see whether he will play his wing now. Maybe they are using him as a striker now, so let's see how he's going to play the wing. No, the reality is this: are you telling me that both APC and PDP cannot pick someone in Edo State, a young man of 45, 50, who has masters in economics, who has a proposal that what are those things that are wrong in this polity? What are the problems you want to solve in Edo State? But they will look at the guy that even by the time you are talking, let me give you an example. I was invited to a political meeting. When I started giving them the analysis of what I will do, before I finished that page, they started clapping for me. By the time I left, someone just called me that I disappointed him. What happened? Are you not one of the people clapping? Said, all what you are saying. Do you know that you have already given those people how you are going to curtail their source of living? I started looking at myself as a stupid person, for being honest. You know, yeah, that is just it. So in Edo State, it is see, my godfather is better than your godfather. There is nothing specially that has said. I said something in some years ago that because we used to exhaust our energy in the process of winning election, by the time they get to the seat, they are confused because they must have compromised beyond what they can control. Okay, you sponsor my election to become governor. You said that you will give out of 15 commissioners, you will give me 10 list of 10 people. Out of anybody that want to go to the federal, you will give me. I must consult you. It is you that will tell me that this person that will go. And by the time those people get there, I can't control them. If I apportion 15 million to their ministry, they can tell you that they have taken 10 to the godfather. When are we going to start? That is it. We've known this problem that is a problem. My issue is not discussing or debating or describing or analyzing the situation. What are we going to do? And if I should go to what to do, my action plan should start from the electorate. They should be able to have cognitive dissonance. They should be able to say that the propensity they are following will lead them to nowhere. Because the same thing that happened last week will be okay in a community. If they agree that Ojo should be our counselor, and everybody should come out in that community that you should not collect a dime from Ojo, and Ojo, when you get there, you are not going to get more than your salary. But what is apportioned to us must be given to us. But who is going to bear the card? If we are telling them you are a fool, if Barrister could stand up to tell them today, they will tell you that it's because he has money to feed his family. That's why he's saying that we should not collect the money from the politicians. These are the people you want to liberate. So what are we going to do until, as I used to say, that until there is one drastic occurrence, drastic one that will change the momentum, that will disturb the line of thought we have been following, and there will be reason that will force us to reformation. Until then, apart from that, nothing will happen. I say it again, nothing will ever happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Akintunde Bello Sheriff ABS, your own advice to the people, the politicians, and the youth.
Well, my advice will be very, very simple, and it will not take much time. You see, I think there must be a paradigm shift, away from what system we have now. I mean, the moral decadence. And because there must be a paradigm shift from the moral decadence that has pervaded our political hemisphere, as it were. Because, you see, if it is not decadence, most of these problems arising are because of breakdown of trust and refusal to keep promises. For example, the other time, the other guest speaker was speaking about the reign of Governor Bisi Akande. Yeah, of course, give it to Baba. He tried his best. His best may not be enough, and that is the beauty of democracy. Every 4 years, people have the opportunity to assess you and judge you and retain you if you are doing fine, and if you are not doing fine, they show you the red cards. But I think there is this credit to him based on how he was able to engage the local people to bat life. But beyond that, you cannot, rob Peter to pay Paul. The civil servant knew what they went through in the hand of Bisi Akande before that secretariat could be put up. and you will discover that it was the civil servant money that Baba was able to,
ABS.
bring
I said
together
your advice,
to put that thing up.
your advice to all the
This is part of what
politicians.
I am saying. This is part of what I
Is
am
that part
saying. You
of
see,
your advice?
the advice. Look at the Edo saga. Look at the Edo saga that you mentioned. Nobody is talking that Obaseki is not a performer. Nobody is saying that Ambode was a failure in Lagos. But we are saying that they did not please their godfather, and so they have to be sacrificed. That is not what politics should be about.
Okay.
But people will not talk about it. People will not talk about it. I think if we are rejecting the coming back of an office holder, it should strongly and largely be on the basis of his performance or otherwise. But politics is what it is. So what I will say is that people must keep promise. If I am your deputy governor, for example, and God used me to sponsor the election, and you promise me after one time you are handing over to me. When we get to office, if I renege on that promise, there will be a problem. So we must keep promises, and we must work on our value reorientation. By the time we have because in those times that we always reference during the time of the hours of this world, you will discover it was not like there was no it was not that there was no poverty at that time. There was poverty, but fear of God reigned supreme. People had the fear of God. They knew that they are responsible to the people, and they have to do what the people desire and what the people deserve in terms of public dividends. So the fear of God must be instilled back. We must keep promises that we make to the electorate and to people who assisted us to power. And I know that by the time we have a value reorientation, the governor or the chairman or the president knows that he's responsible to the electorate. The godfather knows that he must not demand of something. We, bring the office holder into a state of incapacitation such that he will not be able to deliver on the set goals. Then we will all laugh that we are once again regaining our country that we all dreamt about. So may God bless Nigeria, may God bless Osun State, and may God continually, allow our polity to remain sustainable.
Your
Thank you.
advice for the youth. I intentionally say that.
People always say youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but that's not true. Youth
Why?
are the leaders of today, and our own future is in our hands to either make or mar. If you look at the statistics in any election globally, anywhere, you discover that the percentage of youth is such an overbearing one that you cannot discontinue what it can turn out to be in terms of voting outcome. However, there is no common position of the youth when electioneering comes. People prefer mundane things. People prefer to feast today instead of to allow a tomorrow, a better and prosperous tomorrow to come. So my advice to the youth is that let us come in synergy to demand what is due to us. The politicians are not doing us any good if we take patriotism and jeopardize our own future. And that is why no matter how bad a person can be, he will have his goodness, and no matter how good one can be, you will have your flaws. What the governor of Kogi State is doing in terms of youth participation in politics, I give it to the man. Sincerely, partisan learning apart. He is engaging the youth, and the youth in their original times. People under 40, people in their mid 30s, people above 40. So the youth, we must come together. There must be an agreement that we must be able to define that this is what we wanted. And only when we use that power that we have, the bargaining power of figure numbers that we have, to our own best purpose, that is when we will continue. We will begin to get it rightly and correctly. So I advise our youth to let us build consensus as to demanding for a better future rather than falling for for stipends and what have you. I advise the office holders to keep true to the promises they make to electorate before they get to power, to keep to the promises they commit to their godfathers, so to say, before they get to power, to the extent that such promises are not going to be anti-people. That is my point.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barrister Ibrahim Lawal, for your time. Adẹ̀kú gbogbo ẹ̀ náà o. Barrister, a rí eléyìí tẹ́ ṣe lórí ti iléèwé tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ láwọn fẹ́ ṣí, tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣí ní iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán, ní iléeṣẹ́ rédíò kan ní Ìbàdàn. Ní ṣókí, ǹjẹ́ rò pé torí ó dà pé ẹ̀yin tó wà ní Ìbàdàn ẹ wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
My pleasure.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ǹjẹ́ ó rọrùn báyìí láti ní kí àwọn ọmọ padà síléèwé ní ṣókí ní òkè kákan fìyẹn kásẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ ní gbogbo bí yàtọ̀ sí Ìbàdàn gan, yàtọ̀ sọ́yọ́ state, ǹjẹ́ ó tí ì tọ̀nà fún ìjọba kankan láti síléèwé?
Ó bà wá lẹ́rù o, ó yà wá lẹ́nu o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó yà wá lẹ́nu o. Ẹ bá wa Ìbàdàn ni mò ń gbé, Ìbàdàn.
Ẹ bá wa àjọ àwọn gómìnà pátápátá.
Kò rọrùn rárá o, nítorí pé yàtọ̀ sí Ìbàdàn, yàtọ̀ sí in fact ti Ìbàdàn yẹn ó tiẹ̀ lékenkà, because níbàdàn ṣé bí wọ́n ti ṣe tó ga wọ́n ṣe so many things, kò sí nǹkan kan bá bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dé Ìbàdàn wọ́n kàn ń ṣe wọ́nranwọ̀nran ni. Tẹ́ bá àwa tá à ń lo a lè ka oyè àwa tá à ń lo Ìbàdàn, àwọn èèyàn ò believe pé COVID wà. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé nígbà tí gómìnà náà sọ pé òun ní COVID tó tara ẹ̀ yá lọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta tó dé tó ní òun jẹ kinní kan lòun jẹ kinní kan ló jẹ́ kára òun yá, kò jẹ́ kán believe. Mo tọ́ ni mo sọ fún yín, kò jẹ́ kán believe. Tẹ́ bá dé Ìbàdàn àwọn oníkóró àwọn onítẹ̀xí àwọn onímárúwá wọ́n ń gbé èrò mọ́ ṣe ń gbé ni. Tẹ́ bá sọ fún pé má gbèrò tẹ̀lé wọn ní wàá sanwó ẹ̀ o. Wọn ò dẹ̀ lo anything, kò sí enforcement, kò sí nǹkan kan. Ẹ dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ bá gbé lọ́lẹ̀ tí wọn ò bá rí pé kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ obey. So problem ta ní pẹ̀lú gómìnà wa ni pé kò fẹ́ offend anybody. A dẹ̀ lè torí pé a fẹ́ offend èèyàn ká put life in a company ẹyọ.
Hello, Ibrahim. Hello.
I think you lost him. We lost him.
Hello.
But if I can make an addition, because when if I can make an addition, you see, myself and Barrister Ibrahim Lawal, we often engage, because don't forget that I was here in Osun before he relocated to Ibadan. It's my good eggman anytime, any day. When the MBA in Ibadan wrote the governor of Oyo State, he forwarded that communique to me, and I told him that this is reasonable, and I love the language there too. Meanwhile, you see,
Barrister,
for a government to
Barrister, can you re-enter the studio?
While they do
that, tí spikes bá lọ wà wàhálà gidi ni. Àwọn countries tí wọ́n gbìyànjú àti ṣí school wọ́n láti tì padà nígbà tí spikes wà. The nation of Israel is there.
Ní Amẹ́ríkà bí iléèwé ní ọdún tó ń bọ̀.
Ní Amẹ́ríkà wọ́n ní àwọn fẹ́ prepare àwọn ọmọ fẹ́ exam tí àmọ́ bí exam national exam gbogbo ìlú ló fẹ́ ṣe, gbogbo Nàìjíríà, kí ni tọ̀yọ́ state nìkan, sọ́yọ́ state nìkan ló fẹ́ ṣe exam ni. Abẹ tí ò bá wà láyé ṣó lè ṣe exam. So ẹ bá wa bẹ̀ Ṣèyí Mákindé ó má put life àwọn ọmọ in danger. Èmi tí mo jókòó yìí, àwọn ọmọ mi mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta, ìkan wà ní SS3, ìkan wà ní GS3, ìkan wà ní primary 5. Àwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ló affect. Kí n wá release ọmọ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta, kí n káwọ́ sókè. Mo ti dàgbà, ọmọ wo mo ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ bí nísìn. Àbí ìyàwó wo mo fẹ́ ní, ìyàwó mi ti wọ menopause. Ọlọ́run ṣàánú mi. So ẹ bá wa bẹ̀ o. ABS àwọn pátì ẹ sọ fún wọn o. Ilé yóò bọ́ sí o. Mo láti máa pa kó. kì í sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀rín.
Bọ̀dá nígbà tí network yẹn ní sùúrù nígbà tí network yẹn break mo ti sọ mo ní as MBA communicate ẹ̀kọ́ sí governor mo ní opportunity láti kà á torí pé send ẹ̀ sí mi WhatsApp and I told you that I love the language and it is commendable. However, you see, I think the point is that people, government across board, federal, state, local, wọ́n ti ń ṣí ọjà, wọ́n ti ń ṣí mọ́ṣáláṣí, wọ́n ti ń ṣí churches. So I think these are some of the catalyzing factors to máa push the governor, Excellency Seyi Makinde, láti rò pé education. Because if you can open the region center, what is the value of the region center when you compare to education? You understand?
Nobody is opening religious center. See, market is different from any other because tebanika when you want lay, they need food to sustain. You know it is essential.
Oyetola is opening churches and
mosques. Ọmọ kékeré ò lè control ààrẹ. Wọ́n ṣeré, wọ́n ṣe àgbàlagbà àtàbá fẹ́ kíra wá sí bari ẹ ìgúnpá la máa fi kíra wa. Sáwọn ọmọ ẹnu fẹ́ sọ wọ́n pé kán máa lò wá. Adégbé to use those masks. You understand? And there is no state tó ti open school that is contemplating opening schools. We are saying that schools for now it is not right to open schools now. That is my argument about it. And if you look at our press release, we made emphasis on opening of schools. Education, yes, I agree with you. Even in Britain, kò sí school wọ́n ní pé wọ́n á lo class work wọ́n á fi ṣe promotion ni. Tó bá di next year, tí kìíní bá clear, táwọn ọmọ wa wà alive, táwọn náà wà alive, we will continue from where we stopped. For now, our safety must be paramount. Wọn kì í gba cup fún ẹ tó bá kọ́kọ́ sí school o. Our safety, life is more important than any other thing.
Can we say the
so that is it. Talk to Seyi Makinde. That decision is still advised.
ABS. Can we say the governor is being pressurized? Is being pressurized by some people?
By who? No, you will agree.
You see the reality.
As a stakeholder, as the chief executive of your state, our information we have obligation. Our private schools to act on behalf of your people.
All these private schools that are they not pressurizing the government?
Should they dictate for government? I know this is my point. You see, a government that goes to power, based on popular mandate will not be careless to halt the feeling and the mood of the people. I am not seeing this from the angle that
even at the expense of people's lives.
And this is where I am leading to. My opinion is a leading one. Now, you see, I am not seeing this from the angle of people. I'm not seeing this from the angle of wickedness. Don't forget that the governor himself was lucky to survive this virus. So, and he's a parent. No parent will wish that Kiyomoku. However, I see sense in the campaign being advanced that the government should take another look at the whole thing. But I think that the government will have weigh all its options, and perhaps they have all the necessary precautions that they want to, put in place to make sure that this virus is not made to further loose for people to contact. But at my own personal capacity, we have people in the government that we talk to over there. We have people in the party in Oyo that we talk to. I will find out with them and see if we can come to an agreement. But I know that the governor and the government of Oyo State will not naturally and willingly want to endanger the lives of the citizens.
Shegoni, ABS, thank you. God bless. Dr. Onira, do you have anything to add? We spent more time. Barrister Lawal ti sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ti ní kẹ́ ẹ bá bẹ gómìnà Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ bá bẹ gómìnà tó gbogbo gómìnà míì náà tó kúrò lọ́kàn.
Come on, she's school. As Barrister said, children cannot control themselves.
Kì í ṣe tọ̀rọ̀ nìkan ẹ mọ̀ pé aṣọ kankan sí àwọn private schools proprietors wọ́n lè máa put pressure on the government.
Look, let me tell you.
Not only Ọ̀yọ́ state government.
Gbogbo àwọn private school proprietors tá à ń sọ yìí, they can't tell Makinde.
Government ní kò ní courage láti refuse pressure yẹn.
Wọ́n lè sọ fún Makinde pé kó pín 20,000 fún gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní Ọ̀yọ́ state kó náà pressurize òun kó ṣe kó gbà. So he should be able to say no.
I think in the other way that thing is interwoven. Àwọn òbí àwọn ọmọ yìí that we are talking about have been given the leeway to start going to offices. Wọ́n lọ bí iṣẹ́ wọ́n jáde. Àwọn tí ò jẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba wọ́n ti padà. Who are out there, they got exposed one way or the other and come back to meet these children at home. So it could be part of the reasoning of the government that why must the student be left stagnated? But above all, I know that
they are not stagnated. Anyway, we have options. Is that look? There are some things you cannot even you can't even try. For example, now you can't tell me that let me jump down from a plane, from an aircraft without parachute and see what will happen to me. You won't even live to see what will happen to you. If we send these children at this risk,
yes, don't send them. I know you if it were constituted authority that was in your state and this thing happens, we will not give this risk.
No, if it's the one and people die,
I was among the people who frown at the wickedly and diabolical act of some, what is it called? Some destructive element who just I am sure ABS will not give authority. I'm just being
if it were constituted authority that is contemplating it.
What? This is the point I am making. The authority I have fought and defended so recently. I was among the people that came out to condemn people who jumped to town to break his unfounded death.
Are we still going on?
Okay. No.
Doesn't matter. Forget about this. I'm talking about this policy. I'm talking about this policy. Anybody can announce anything. That is the headache.
We are going to.
You are not here in this matter. You are not, and you know it.
No, I am here. We will treat it locally. We will treat it locally.
I'm not.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Barrister Ibrahim Lawal, thank you very much for having you on the program. Dr. Gbolabo,
it's a great pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Some other time you will still be part of the program. ABS, Akintunde, Bello.
Yes, ma. My foot player.
Thank you very, very much. So, till some other time.
And thanks to all our audience who followed.
Abio, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n wò wá, tí wọ́n dá sí ètò bóyá àti ẹ̀ lè kọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n kọ́. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wọn púpọ̀. God bless you all. So we'll meet again next Sunday for another interesting topic. Doctor, let me release you now. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye. ABS, let me release you too. Bye. Thank you.
Okay, ma. Bye.
Bye. Látúmú ti àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣí Ọ̀yọ́ tán náà fẹ́ ṣí ilé ìwé àwọn ẹlẹ́tì ti sọ èrò wọn lóòótọ́ àdọ́gba wọn ìjọba míì náà tí wọ́n bá tún gbìyànjú pé àwọn fẹ́ ṣí ilé ìwé lọ́wọ́ yìí kí wọ́n dàrú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n kọ ọ̀rọ̀ síbi tí wọ́n jẹ́ olùkọ́ ni wọ́n ní àwọn gan táwọn jẹ́ olùkọ́ Adélékè Olúwadára àwọn gan sọ wọ́n ní kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ pé wà stagnated àwọn ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ ní online lóòótọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọdé ò ní àǹfààní láti wà ní online ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ ká wò pé ọmọ tó wà láyé òun ló ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ òun ló ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó bá tọ́. adúgbò púpọ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ láṣẹ ìgbìmọ̀ rẹ̀ á mú àkòrí wá ó ṣeé ṣe ìtafẹ́gbéyẹ̀wò lọ́sẹ̀ tó bá jẹ àárín ọ̀sẹ̀ àbẹ́ kí ẹ mọ̀. mo ti dúpẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o Barrister Ibrahim Lawal, God bless you. Dr. Gbolabo ni I really appreciate you. Akintunde Bello Sheriff, popularly known as ABS. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. See you next week.